All right, let's take a look at how to use the assessment map. So, where to find it first of all? All right, so underneath the class work stream, if you scroll down, right, so scroll right down to the assessment part, you'll find the post here, learning map. If you open that up, the learning map I've attached, each student will get their own learning map. And when you click on it, you'll find yourself taken to this document. This is yours. This is your learning map. So essentially, again, what this is that in this course, we have 4 OLGs, or overarching learning goals: design, analyze, experience, and lead. The idea with overarching learning goals is that if you take nothing else away from this course, so if you can't remember anything necessarily specific, think of those courses in, let's say, science or math, where you're supposed to remember the number of electrons in a hydrogen atom or something like that. That's a very specific learning outcome. That's not what these are. These are the idea that as you complete this course and you walk away from this course, you'll have walked away with the knowledge, and that's what it says here, the knowledge of how to use fonts, colors, shapes, symbols to capture an audience's attention and pique their interest. Right? So this is the design one. So the idea that you can design documents, business professional documents, whether it's a word processed Google Doc, whether it's a spreadsheet in Google Sheets, whether it's a digital presentation in Google Slides, or whether it's a website in Google Sites, that you can use fonts, colors, shapes, symbols to capture an audience's interest. And so that's design. And you'll see underneath each of the OLGs, under the knowledge, you'll see the be able to. And this is what I specifically mean when I say knowledge here. So in business courses in this school, each business course has these 4 OLGs: design, analyze, experience, and lead. And it just changes ever so slightly depending on the course. And so this course, again, design is all about design documents. Analysis is about analyzing numbers and text to better arrange it and present it. Experience is the ability to actually communicate in a professional and emotionally intelligent manner. And then lead is the ability to organize and manage your work on your own, to lead your own learning. And those are the 4 big OLGs for this course. And if you, again, when you complete this course, can walk away with being able to achieve these 4 OLGs, that is success. And that will do you so much wonders, so many wonders for you down the road, and no matter what you pursue, if you can remember how to do these and achieve these. So I just want to cover those OLGs first. Now, within each OLG, there's specific expectations. And so each OLG, what I've done is I've broken it down to specific expectations. And these are our learning goals for each unit. These are what we're trying to achieve over the course of over the whole quadmester, over the whole semester, quadmester, depending on what you're in. And you achieve these during each of the stages. And so you read through the expectations, these specific learning goals. And you'll see that for design, there's 7 here, and these are specific to this OLG of design. And analysis, there's 5 here, and again, specific to analysis. 6 for experience, and again, specific to that. And then 8 here for lead, and again, specific to this OLG. And so the beginning of each stage of our learning process, of our passion project, right? Beginning of each stage, we identify which ones we want to achieve. And so this is where you have to think about what your tool you're using. So if it's Google Slides, right, maybe you're going to really focus on this one. I can identify ways to make presentation engaging by customizing background, slide master, and the template to the topic. So that's very specific to Google Slides. Whereas if you chose this learning goal, but you're working on Google Sheets, a spreadsheet, that doesn't really work. And so you have to really think about which ones will work with the tool that you're learning. right? And so same with this one. I can organize information using a variety of layouts to better design pages, slides, and sheets. And so this works for all of them, but maybe you're going to focus more on this, for websites versus spreadsheets. And then I can customize the look and feel of a spreadsheet to make it easier to read the data. Again, that would work for spreadsheets. It won't work necessarily for Google Docs, for word processing. And so you want to really consider which ones you're going to try to achieve for each of the stages and for each of the tools that you're working on. And so when you identified which expectations, which learning goals you're going to achieve, you're going to strive to achieve for the stage, you're simply going to highlight it. So select the box, and you can do one of two things. You can highlight the text by clicking on the highlight tool. Okay. Or again, if you select the whole box, you can actually fill the box, and that highlights it as well. Again, whatever you choose. Okay, so you're going through and you're selecting. What you're going to do is, in the stage that you're beginning, the start of the stage, you're going to highlight about 2, I would say, for each of the OLGs. So again, if I'm working on, let's say, presentations, maybe I'm going to highlight these 2 for OLG design, and I'll move down to analysis, and I'll look at this and I say, I'm going to really focus on this one for this stage. And under experience, right, I'm going to highlight this one. And then under leadership, I'm going to do 2 or 3. I'm going to do this one, setting learning goals. I'm going to set tasks, and I highlight this. Okay, and so at the beginning of the stage, I've highlighted now 2 for OLG 4, 1 for OLG 3, 1 for 2, and then 2 for 1. So again, you don't have to do, there's not a specific number. You're just trying to achieve what you think you can for each of them. And it may be 2, it may be 1, it may be more than that. Don't try and get too many. That's just, you're not going to be able to. So just, be realistic. Okay, and notice how we also have expectations first half and then expectations second half. So the first half of the course, you're going to fill out, you're going to highlight the expectations in this column. When after midterms, you're going to then focus on the remaining ones and highlight them in this column. And so you can see the distribution, what you were able to achieve in the first half, what you were able to achieve in the second half, and highlighting those ones in the second half. The other thing that you can do as well, if I've already achieved this expectation but I want to improve it, then I might again highlight it again to continue my improvement on that. Okay, so that's what we do at the beginning of the unit. Now, part of this is also to communicate this to me. So what you're going to do, I'm going to go back to the classwork section. Again, each of our stages are broken up here in the classwork. Stage 1, planning. Stage 2, creating. Stage 3, improving. And where it says learning goals, this is the Google form that you're going to fill out. So you open this up, you click on the Google form, and here you are. Right? And so you put in your name, last name, first name, student number, right? And then the learning goals. This is now where you're going to input that information from your learning map. So you go back to your learning map, you look at which ones you've highlighted, you copy, so Command C or Control C, you copy the learning goal, the expectation that you're setting out to try to achieve. You paste it right into here, make a new line, press enter, highlight the second one, copy, paste into here, press enter, and you copy and paste each of them into your form here, and you would do that for each of them that you're trying to achieve. Under the why, this is where you're going to tell me why you are trying to achieve these ones. And what you want to do is also address the fact that you're wanting to achieve these ones because you're working on presentations. Right? So in this explanation, again brief, right? These are the learning goals: colors, visuals, symbols, and designing engaging presentation. So therefore, let's say again I'm the student. I'm working on creating a digital pitch presentation, a business pitch presentation that I would show to investors. And again, this presentation would highlight the company, the business that I'm starting, and I want to show that to investors. And therefore, creating a really nicely designed presentation with visuals, colors, symbols, that's really going to help me. So that's part of my explanation here. I'm identifying what I'm working on, right, and I'm connecting it back to the learning goals. And then how, again, this is where it's not about working hard. I know you're going to work hard, but think of specifics. How are you going to really work on achieving these goals? So maybe I'm going to reference digital presentations created by corporations to seek investors, right? I'm going to look at examples, professional presentations that are out there on the web that I can reference, and then you hit submit. And so now you see how this is connected. On your learning map, you're focusing on which expectations you're going to achieve, right? Highlight those, and then in your Google form, input that information. And so now the next part is just to start working on your deliverable, working on that stage of your passion project. And as you work on that stage, you're trying to achieve these expectations. And so now you get to the end of the stage. Now what? Well, that's where we come back to our learning map. So at the very end, the last day of the stage, right, before we move on to the next stage, we look back on this learning map. We reflect on this, and we look at this and say, did I achieve this? Was I able to use visuals, colors, symbols to support text in an effective way? If you feel like you have, then that's great. And so there's two things that you can do. You can now highlight this, maybe to a green, identify that you've achieved this. Right? So it's now green, you're good, you've achieved it. And in this last column here, evidence. This is where you'll link to the specific item, the file, whatever it is that proves that you were able to achieve this. So this is where you insert the link to the file that shows how you were able to achieve this expectation. And so what I'm able to do as a teacher, I can now open your learning map, I can click on this link, and it'll take me to the document that proves this learning map, and I can use that for further assessment purposes. Okay, so that's the learning map. That's how it's used. Again, we look at this at the beginning of the stage. We keep working on achieving these learning goals, and then at the end of the stage, we self-assess whether or not we were able to achieve this, and we insert the evidence in this last column. That's it.